So in today's world, as you know, everybody has anxiety now. Everyone
Yes.
says that they, especially the younger kids. What advice would you give a young kid, maybe a millennial age, to manage stress?
Well, first of all, they need to be very much aware why they're being stressed. Because stress is actually not what's around you, it's what's inside of you, how you
Yeah.
respond to things that are happening around you. And you cannot control the outside world or the people around you, but you have pretty much full control of the best you to respond in a very good way.
It's true.
And anxiety is very destructive. In fact, if I am in anxiety mode, I cannot think. I feel like I have a brain fog. And even if you talk to me, it's not registering. So anxiety is something that you need to throw away
Yes.
and convert that into peace. Once you throw it away, you cast it out, like when you're throwing a dice on a relay, you throw it away and then you receive the peace and calmness, and start to relax, starting with your head, with your heart, and eventually with your spirit, and your body follows.
Yeah. So you think the main cause of stress for these people is what they're thinking, what they're
Well,
consuming?
the thinking.
Yeah.
Because when you think of something, you eventually feel it. And when you feel it,
Yeah.
you act on it or react. And before you know it, you're displacing all your emotions all over the place.
That's true.
That's what you call emotional flooding. And when you're flooded, there's nothing you can do except wait until it stops and then you clean up.
So give us an example of how they can remove the stress. Let's say they're in their workplace and they're feeling very overwhelmed. How can they
Okay.
kind of settle down?
There are some preventive ones, and there's some tips that I could tell people on, like a first aid tip. On the preventive, you need to have self-care
Yeah.
and self-awareness. Because if you're aware, you know what you can do and cannot do, and when is your max, when is your minimum, how far you could go, how long it's gonna make you feel that way. So you need to be aware of caring for you. If you're not cared for and expect other people to care for you, they don't care. They care
That's
about
true.
themselves too.
This is true.
We live in a I would say self-focused society. Americans
Absolutely.
are self-centered.
That is so true.
And there's nothing wrong with being self-centered so long as you're not hurting yourself or other people. When I say about that, it's more like you're self-focused and you're self-aware when I say self-centered. But a lot of times we have the unconscious part of us and the subconscious. You're only aware of the conscious.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you need to know what's happening. Why are you reacting that way? What's triggering you?
Right, that's true. So you said we're only aware of the conscious. So people can really reprogram their subconscious,
yes.
right? Because I notice every time you always have such a joy. And your joy is contagious. So there must be something that you do every day when you get up to maintain this joy.
Well, let me back up a little bit. The most stressful time that I have happened to me 40 years ago. And that was when I was heartbroken because my first and only boyfriend cheated on me. And I was only 26. I thought I was already mature at that time, but it really blew me off.
Yeah.
And I was so stressed out, I could not even manage or control my feelings or reaction. I was very angry. But you know what? I learned how to refocus and distract myself in some creative ways. So what I did, this is actually what I did. I had a date with my friends, Christy and Kamaning. And they're older than me, so they have a lot of wisdom. And they were asking me what am I going to do after this drama in life. And I said, I'm going to America. And they were really surprised. When are you going? I don't know, but I'm going. And that was around, June, because my heartbreak was in April, May,
Okay.
2 months.
Yeah.
So after, while we were talking, they asked me, so when are you going?
Mhm.
I don't know, but I'm going. Do you have a passport? No. You can't go to America if you don't have a passport. Well, all I'm saying to you is I have decided to go to America. Regardless of the obstacles, it will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a visa? No. Do you have a passport? No. Okay, are you kidding me?
Did you have a dream? What happened?
No, 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 no. I had set
Just knew.
myself to do that. And then Kamaning said, okay, get a passport, I'll help you. And I said, how much? Nothing. I just want you to not get stressed out and I want to help you.
Oh, okay.
And I said, okay, but no strings attached. I'm very direct and very honest. So the following month, July, I got the passport. I gave it to him. He gave it back to me August. I've got a visa. I left in September. I left the Philippines in September. I came to the United States, visited LA, San Francisco, New Jersey, New York, and then landed in Chicago. And I got married in Chicago after 19 days from arrival.
Okay, that's a whole another story.
It is. But that's how stressful I was.
Yeah.
And I got married to a guy I did not know.
So we're gonna have to talk about that. I'm
We
sure
will.
that you learned
We will.
some stress management.
Well, let me tell you
techniques.
this. I didn't give you some of the details. It was his ex-wife that arranged our marriage. Because they got divorced and she already moved forward.
Right,
But
she-
he was really heartbroken from that.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like me either. And I didn't like him because I thought he was gay. I even checked with his wife.
Oh, she's kidding. You know, I was about to.
No, I'm not kidding. So I asked his ex-wife, why did you divorce him? Is he gay? She said, oh, no, no, no. But watch for his ways with his interaction with his family. He's
Huh.
very family oriented and he took me for granted.
Oh.
So I kind of
Okay.
have a snapshot view of what I'm going into. But I said
Yeah.
I was just doing it so he could help me and I could help him. It's not something that I was not ready to be involved.
Right. But you had mentioned, though, circling back, one of your techniques was redirecting yourself during that hard time in your life, the hard breakup, was redirecting, right? Surrounding yourself with people that you knew cared about you and kind of setting your mind on a new adventure, right? So do you still use that technique today? Or do
I still do.
Okay.
Because as I said, I'm very much aware of what I am thinking consciously. And I would pretty much reflect inside of me what are some of the unconscious or subconscious things that's happening to me. And if I'm not sure what I'm gonna make a decision on, I seek advice. I actually pray a lot.
That's really good.
I pray a
Yeah.
lot. And even if you're, sometimes I would sing to God, or sometimes I would seek a friend, or sometimes I would just keep quiet and listen. And then I would get either a revelation, or a memory, or a picture, or a word. And then I would focus on that.
Explain to us, what is a revelation? Because I know a lot of people
Okay.
are not familiar, not
Okay, revelation, let me put it this way in a nutshell. Information is what we learn here on earth.
Yes.
From school, from people, from the media, anything here on earth. Revelation is something that you learn from above.
Yes.
It's like because we were made
divine.
we were made in the image and likeness of God, and we really don't know ourselves until He reveals Himself to us, and
Yeah.
we know who we are as the revelation comes forth. So revelation is basically God telling us who we are and what we do and our purpose as well as our destiny.
So that's a very important key. Okay, getting connected with God, right?
Yeah, it's more like a relationship because
Yeah.
back when I was still in the Philippines, I didn't understand when you go to church, you sit down, you kneel, you stand up.
I don't understand. Yeah.
I didn't understand,
Yeah.
and I was listening to the priest and doing all the rituals, but it didn't connect with me.
Yeah.
So when I
right.
came here to the United States, they were telling me to open my heart to Jesus. Well, I knew Jesus' friends, Jesus' mom, Jesus' dad, and Jesus, disciples. But I really didn't pray to Jesus. So that's one of the key things that happened to me that was life changing.
So that's very important then.
Yes,
Jesus.
relationship.
Yeah,
Just
relationship.
like if
Yeah.
if you are a man, and I'm married to you, marriage is the relationship.
Right.
But if I don't have a good relationship with you, what for is the religion? What for is the marriage?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That does make sense.
So that's
Yeah.
how I kind of approach marriage. So even though I got married in 19 days, not knowing the man, I got some revelation from the Lord. And it was not easy. Don't get me wrong.
I'm sure.
It was a very difficult startup.
That's very
Yet-
fast. That's
Yet
19 days.
I
is-
look at some of the great things that I could see from Jonathan, my husband, within 19 days, and now 40 years.
Wow.
40 years.
God bless you
It's
both.
miraculous.
That is miraculous.
Well, from
Really?
the time that I left the Philippines, my life from misery became miraculous.
I like that. From misery to miraculous. Stress
From torment to triumph.
from torment to triumph.
From testing to my testimony.
From testing to your testimony.
From my history to his story with Jesus.
So your attitude is so important when it comes to stress management.
Oh yeah, attitude is attitude. Your
Attitude.
response is more important than your reaction.
That
Your
is so
response is creative and solution oriented.
I hope people are writing this down. Okay.
Well, they could always play the video, and they could just follow me on, because I have a lot of revelations that because I'm not young anymore, so I have collected a lot of experiences, a lot of stories, a lot of teaching, globally, not just locally, because I speak all over the place. Whoever calls me, I just go when the Lord leads me.
Yeah.
And as I said, it didn't take me overnight to do this. I think it's also because of my childhood upbringing. I'm the eighth child. The youngest
big
is a
family.
boy. And the older sister, there's only 2 girls, so there's 6 other older brothers. So I learned a lot how to follow. When you're a good follower, you know how to be a good leader.
That's true. You have to start out that way.
And I was humbled from the very beginning. And even when I had a broken heart with my first and only boyfriend, it really humbled me. I hit rock
Yeah.
bottom.
It's
But
like you needed that experience though to
I met
to come
Jesus,
here, to come-
who is the rock.
Right, exactly.